This video is sponsored by JNC Collectibles website at jnccollectibles.com. Be sure to check them out for all your TCG needs, from sealed products to sleeves to playmats. Link is in the description box below. Thank you, and back to the video. What's going on, guys? Okay, JNC Nick back here again to bring you another deck profile. Today's deck profile is going to be a Gyarados EX deck profile. I wanted to make a Gyarados work, and the Gyarados EX is obviously the best Gyarados to try to make work in the current rotation. It is just a super fun casual deck. I encourage everyone to try to give it a go, especially if you like Gyarados. This is basically just a list that I threw together trying to make it work, so you could take it what you will. But I just wanted to show it off and show off the spicy text that I decided to go with. So I do play a 2 Magikarp and a 2 Gyarados line, Gyarados EX. For the Magikarp, I went with the Pokemon Go version. It does have, for one, colorless. You can search any number of Magikarp and reveal them and put them into your hand for 1 colorless energy for an attack, which isn't bad. This is basically the Magikarp that I felt does the most. Obviously, you don't want to be attacking with this, but this is the one that I went with. And then, obviously, the boy himself, Gyarados EX. Why we play it: for 3 water and 2 colorless, it does 180 plus. And then if your opponent's active has any damage counters already on it, it does 180 more damage, allowing it to do 360. So it does a massive amounts of damage. So yeah, so if it's able to one-shot pretty much anything in the format, which I thought was pretty cool. It does have a first attack, Waterfall. For 3 water, it does 100 damage. 300 HP on a stage 1 is kind of beefy as well. So yeah, so that is the Gyarados line that I went with. There's potential to bump Magikarp up to 3 with Gyarados EX, also up to 3. But I was testing out the 2-2 line, and it was pretty well, because you kind of just want Gyarados to clean everything up towards the end of the game. So that's the Gyarados line. For kind of the more supporting engine, I guess, to try to make Gyarados work, I do play, obviously, the 2 Palkia Vs and the 2 Palkia VSTARs. Obviously, basically, Palkia VSTAR has a nice attack for 2 waters. It does 60 plus, and then it does 20 more damage for each bench Pokemon. And then, obviously, the ability super nice Star Portal to put water energies from your discard onto Pokemon any way that you like. So you could if you kind of hold it, you could use it to soup up a Gyarados EX with 3 waters, and go from there. Basically, whatever situation that you get in, Star Portal could get you basically out of, and get things ready to attack. So obviously really nice. This is kind of the spicy tech that I decided to go with. I went with 2 Squirtle and 2 of the Blastoise Go for another supporting Pokemon. So what this does, and why it's in here, it does a Vitality Spring ability. And for once during your turn, you may search your deck up to 6 energy cards, which obviously, spoiler alert, I do play Double Turbo. It could actually equip Double Turbo right from the deck. But yeah, so you search up to 6 energy cards and attach them to Pokemon any way that you like. But if you use this ability, your turn ends. But this deck is kind of slow to begin with, so if you could get this off your second turn, it is great to set everything up to get you into the middle stages of the game. Really nice. It also has a decent attack for 4 colorless. It's a Hydro Pump. It does 90 plus, and it does 30 more damage for each water attached to this Pokemon. So it's not bad as a last-ditch effort attacker if you got to set this up as well. But yeah, so this is kind of the supporting engine. It helps with turboing energies, because obviously Gyarados has a high energy cost attack. So that's why Blastoise is in the deck. For more supporting, this is more of a supporting attacking Pokemon. Obviously, it's kind of stinks in a Miraidon, but it's really cool. It is 2 Starmie V. It's 0 retreat cost, which is nice, so you have a pivot Pokemon in the deck. What it does, for 2 colorless, it does 50, and then the attack damage isn't affected by weaknesses or resistance. But the real reason that it's in here for 2 water energy for Energy Spiral, it does 50 times the amount of energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. So it could actually hit big if your opponent kind of loads up on energies for a very low 2 waters. So that's why it's in here. Low energy requirement attack, and then it could hit big based on what your opponent does with their energies. And then also being 0 retreat is also nice for being a nice pivot Pokemon. Now more into the supporting Pokemon. Do 2 Bidoof, 2 Bibarel line. Pretty self-explanatory. Helps with draw engine. Helps recycle your cycle through your deck. Super nice. And then for the last 2, I play Elekid. I really like this card. It is super nice to open with this. It has it's 0 retreat as well, so a nice early stage pivot Pokemon for 0 energy. It does Crackling Shot, and you can put 30 damage to any Pokemon that you like. So it helps a lot to get the spread damage going for later in the game for Gyarados EX to kind of set up and be able to hit for 360. So this card is also really nice. I enjoy seeing it when I have to, especially early game. And then for the last Pokemon I do play is the Radiant Alakazam. Obviously self-explanatory. You need damage counters on your active, so if someone puts something up, you could Radiant Alakazam, just move damage counters around that you need to, and modulate the damage counters. So then Gyarados EX could swing hard for 360. So that's pretty much the Pokemon lineup that I went with here for the items. 3 Nest Ball, have a bunch of basics that you kind of want to see. You really want to see Palkia, so that's why this is really in the deck. It obviously could search any, also Radiant Alakazam. 3 Ultra Balls, you play a lot of evolutions, being able to search any evolution Pokemon or any Pokemon in general for that matter is really nice. 2 Buddy Poffin, play a decent amount of 70 or lower HP Pokemon. It is nice to just have Buddy Poffin there to cycle through. Obviously, it's a really strong card. I do only play 2 rare candies for the 2 Blastoise. You don't really need it. As long as you have 1, you set up usually just 1 Blastoise. I just obviously don't want to just play 1 in case it gets prized. So just having the 2 is a very nice security to be able to see it, to get Blastoise. So yeah, so that's why that's there. 1 Switch card in case something gets locked that you don't really want in there. 1 Super Rod to recycle Pokemon. And then for the last item card is 1 Prime Catcher. Once Gyarados is ready, you could Prime Catcher something up that has damage counters on it if they're trying to retreat, and Gyarados will just clean it up and pretty much one-shot it. So that's why Prime Catcher is in the deck as the ace spec. So that's for the items. For the stadium cards, we have 2 Calamitous Snowy Storm, which is kind of cool. So whenever a player attaches an energy card from their hand to one of the basic non-water Pokemon, you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. It's actually really nice for that reason. So it basically allows you to just get damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon for free, and your deck isn't affected by this because basically all your Pokemon are waters that need energy. So really nice. For the tools, I play 1 TM Evolution, get into your Bidoofs quicker, get into your Gyarados, your Palkias. So that's really nice. 1 Heavy Baton to put on your Gyarados to then move the energies back so you don't lose them. And 1 Rocky Helmet. This is another way to just get damage counters on it. If the Pokemon this is attached to takes damage, even if it's knocked out, you put 2 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Easy way to get damage counters on Pokemon to start moving them around with Radiant Alakazam and things of that nature. So that's it for the tools. On to the supporters. This is a water deck. You are able to play 3 Irida. This card is super nice. Obviously, based on my Garchomp list, I think this card is super cracked. If there's a water Pokemon that comes out that is really good, this card instantly, I think, becomes one of the best cards in the game. Being able to search any water Pokemon and any item from your deck is super strong. Obviously, search Blastoise Rare Candy, could search Gyarados, could search Palkia V ASR, Buddy Poffin, any combination, super nice. With that, I do play some tools that are a little, obviously, that are essential to the deck. So I do play 2 Arven as well. Just more support to get items that you need, as well as to grab tools that you may need at any given time. So Arven is really nice. 2 Iono, which is staple, help card advantage, and then 2 Boss, another way to allow you to kind of pivot things that they might be trying to hide. Just boss up Pokemon, move opponent's bench Pokemon to the active and be able to knock it out. So 2 Boss. And that pretty much wraps it up into the energies. So we do play 10 water energies. I do feel like you need to play this number. Gyarados has a lot of energy requirements, as well as if you want to put a couple on Palkia, put some on Blastoise to try to get that set up. So you have to have enough water energies to be able to kind of facilitate all your attackers. So I think 10 is a good number. And then I do play 3 double turbo energy. As well as because Blastoise is able to cycle this, it's really nice. These can go on Blastoise to allow it to attack. Obviously, they're in also for Gyarados. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys do try it out. And yeah, and let me know how it goes. And with that, this is JNC Nick signing out. Peace.